There are moments when you believe you're completely safe. Inside your home, at the front door, in a familiar neighborhood, or behind the glass of a security camera. But all it takes is one strange movement, one shadow passing by, and those fragile boundaries collapse instantly. Nature doesn't knock, it forces its way in. And the real question is, are you truly ready to see what's waiting behind the footage you're about to watch? This CCTV footage was recorded at night on the porch of a wooden cabin near the edge of a forest in North America, an area well known for frequent visits from black bears. In the frame, an adult bear appears slowly. It doesn't charge. It isn't aggressive. Instead, it behaves with curiosity, the typical state of a bear approaching something unfamiliar. In front of it sits a motionless zombie mannequin. To a bear's vision, it likely looks like a standing human, or worse, a potential food source. The bear steps closer, lowers its head, sniffs, ears upright, muscles slightly tense. Then everything changes in an instant. The mannequin suddenly jerks, LED lights flash, distorted groaning sounds echo through the night. The bear's reaction is immediate. It jumps back, swings its paw, violently knocks the mannequin off the porch, then spins around and bolts straight into the darkness. What stands out here isn't fear, but confusion. According to behavioral biologists, bears aren't afraid of monsters. They fear things that break instinctive logic. An object that looks human, but doesn't behave like a living being, and suddenly sends the wrong signal. This isn't cowardice. This is the moment a predator's instinctive system crashes. A few weeks later, in another video recorded during the Christmas season, again near a forest edge, a Santa Claus decoration is placed at the front door. The opening scene is nearly identical. A bear appears, slow, calm, no sign of aggression. But when Santa suddenly jolts, shakes violently, and emits a sharp mechanical sound, the bear freezes completely, within less than a second. Then it retreats. No roar, no attack, just a cascade of rapid reflexes, as if every nerve fires at once. The bear turns and runs, leaving behind what is harmless decoration, but to it, something that has shattered the entire sense of environmental safety. The video spreads rapidly, gaining hundreds of thousands of views within 24 hours. Many people laugh. Many find it cute. The next footage appears on social media during Halloween and sparks intense debate from the very first seconds. In the frame stands an adult lion, solid, powerful, moving slowly but with undeniable authority. It approaches a decoration, a motionless witch mannequin. Everything is silent until the mannequin suddenly lights up and shakes violently. The lion's reaction shocks viewers. Its entire body leaps upward, stumbling backwards several steps, a reflex extremely rare for a top predator that normally maintains control. Although the video is later suspected of being AI-generated or staged, since lions don't roam freely in residential areas, the psychological effect is real. It raises an uncomfortable question. If even an apex predator can be overwhelmed by something it doesn't understand, what happens when humans face things beyond their own instincts? But at this point, nothing feels cute or funny anymore. This is a battle between the true powerhouses of the forest. We call it Bigfoot. This video was recorded by a dashcam on a truck driving at night along a remote forest road in North America, an area linked to hundreds of Bigfoot reports over decades. At first, the frame shows only an adult brown bear standing in the road. Massive body, high shoulders, hunched back, the unmistakable profile of a top predator. Then, from the dark forest edge, another figure steps out. This creature is abnormally tall, estimated at 1.5 to nearly twice the height of the bear. Its body is covered in dark hair. broad shoulders, long arms hanging well below the hips, proportions that don't match any known bear or primate species. The confrontation lasts only seconds, but it's chilling. The bear roars, yet the creature doesn't retreat. It simply tilts its head, as if evaluating its opponent. When the two move toward each other, the shock isn't strength, but the bear's reaction. It hesitates, steps back, not injured, but as if realizing it's facing something outside the forest's familiar hierarchy. The hairy figure then turns calmly and walks back into the forest, leaving the bear frozen in the headlights. If this video is fake, it's fake with an unusually deep understanding of animal behavior. And if it's real, that single step back may suggest the existence of something even apex predators know to avoid. The next footage makes everything far more unsettling. Debate erupts after Timothy Darrow releases a video showing a creature appearing in the distance of a deep forest. It moves on two legs, but its gait is unstable, sometimes upright, sometimes hunched, as if not fully adapted to bipedal movement. Its appearance confuses observers. The body is slimmer than classic Bigfoot descriptions. The hair is thinner and lighter. The face appears more human-like, yet the eyes remain unmistakably wild. Some speculate it could be an undocumented primate subspecies, or a parallel evolutionary branch that's learned to avoid humans. The most disturbing detail isn't how it looks, but how it behaves. The creature looks directly into the camera. It doesn't flee. It doesn't act aggressively. It simply stands there for several seconds, as if aware it's being observed. Steve's reaction here is more cautionary than conclusive. In nature, most animals that fear humans flee immediately. A creature that stops and watches back either doesn't perceive humans as a threat or is already accustomed to being seen. Neither possibility feels safe. Continuing with Bigfoot mysteries, this time you witness how they may communicate. A shocking trail camera video from the Umatilla National Forest in Oregon may represent the first recorded evidence of organized communication between Sasquatch families. The footage stuns researchers, showing two separate Bigfoot groups using ancient sound signals to coordinate a meeting. It begins when a large adult Sasquatch appears at the forest edge, accompanied by a juvenile. The adult turns and strikes a pine tree 3 times, loud, deliberate knocks echoing through the silent forest. Seconds later, from a hillside hundreds of meters away, sharp clicking sounds respond, the unmistakable sound of 2 stones being struck together. The Bigfoot pauses, listens, then replies with 2 more tree knocks. This back-and-forth exchange lasts over a minute, forming a clear call-and-response pattern. Soon, a second group emerges from the opposite forest edge, again an adult and a juvenile. The 2 families meet briefly in the clearing, juveniles interacting cautiously, before all 4 figures vanish into the wilderness. This isn't a blurry clip. This is potential evidence of a complex communication system. Umatilla has long been known as a hotspot for wood knocking, but this footage provides the first logical context for the behavior. This time it's not a handheld camera, but fixed CCTV. On a remote road in Oregon, a security camera captures a large figure crossing the road just before midnight. It stands taller than the guardrail, broad-shouldered, walking on 2 legs with steady rhythm. When headlights sweep across it, the figure pauses briefly, turns its head toward the light, then calmly walks into the forest. No running, no crouching, no panic. Frame-by-frame analysis reveals unusually long arms and limb proportions inconsistent with humans or bears. CCTV doesn't create cinematic drama. No intentional angles. If this is staged, it's staged in a place no one's watching, and done with unnerving calm. A security camera in a remote area records footage during a heavy snowstorm. Through the whiteout, a massive silhouette appears. The creature moves slowly on two legs, broad-shouldered, long arms hanging low. What sets this video apart is its pure white fur, blending almost perfectly with the falling snow. Most Bigfoot reports describe dark fur suited to dense forests. But some theories suggest a snow-adapted variant in colder regions. White fur would provide camouflage and insulation. If Bigfoot exists, diverse adaptation makes biological sense. But snowstorms, low visibility, and image noise can easily mislead perception. What stands out is the creature's deliberate movement, calm, purposeful, as if accustomed to remaining unseen. But the next footage raises a far more disturbing question. What happens when humans create horror for one another? The video spreads like a horror film, yet countless comments insist it's real. The scene opens in flickering firelight deep in a forest at night. A woman stands bound like a sacrificial offering. Around her, a crowd cheers and claps in fanatic frenzy. Behind her, a figure appears, tall, muscular like a man, but with the head of a goat. Curved horns, inhuman face. Many call it Goat Man, a figure from urban legends tied to forbidden rituals and outlawed cults. The footage quality makes it impossible to determine whether this is a real creature, a costume, or an undocumented tribal ritual. Comments push the narrative further. Some claim similar rituals still occur deep in forests beyond any legal religious authority. Others suggest these practices have existed for centuries, merely changing form to avoid detection. There's no proof strong enough to confirm it, but no certainty that it's harmless fiction either. But danger isn't limited to forests. Even zoos can become terrifying. Panicked screams erupt as visitors watch a drunk man desperately trying to escape after falling into a lion enclosure. An adult lion approaches. No roar, no immediate attack. It stands still, head slightly tilted, as if evaluating. The man throws rocks in desperation. The lion steps forward, gently taps him with a paw, and stops. Seconds later, rescue staff lower a rope and pull the man to safety. Steve's reaction is clear. In that moment, predatory instinct didn't overpower curiosity. It's a reminder that wild animals don't always behave as we expect, and misunderstanding that is what makes encounters dangerous. His survival can only be called a miracle. But in the wild, humans aren't always that lucky. A camera captures a hunter setting traps when an adult wild boar suddenly charges from the brush. No warning, no hesitation, just a full-force attack. Wild boars are often underestimated, but they react explosively when startled or cornered. Powerful jaws, solid bodies, and short burst acceleration make them genuinely dangerous. Such encounters are becoming more common as forest boundaries shrink. In the wild, humans aren't dominant, and the camera simply bears witness to that. And if you think staying indoors guarantees safety, you need to see this. CCTV footage from a winter resort near the mountains shows a wild boar wandering into human space. Drawn by light and movement, its instincts activate. The animal charges inside, slipping on the floor, growling, running in panic. Inside, humans react just as instinctively, fleeing, climbing furniture, trying to escape. This isn't hunting or defense, it's chaos, both sides losing control. Biologically, wild boars aren't aggressive without reason, but in confined spaces, their panic becomes extremely dangerous. In moments like this, there's no good or evil, only survival instincts colliding. What would you do if you opened your door and found a black bear outside? This CCTV footage shows a situation almost impossible to believe without video proof. A family is inside when their dog starts barking wildly. Seconds later, an adult black bear charges into the yard, and then into the living space. People flee in panic. Screams echo as the bear crashes into furniture, searching for an exit. No one is injured, but the moment turns a safe home into a deadly zone. Humans don't always have to enter the forest to face nature. Sometimes, nature comes to us, and there's no guarantee we're in control. Deep in the forest, fear takes on a more familiar shape. This video captures a breath-holding moment. A man rests near the forest edge with his dog, unaware of danger approaching from behind. From the brush, a massive bear bursts out, mere meters away. Just before tragedy strikes, the bear suddenly breaks, rises on its hind legs, front paws lifted in what looks like a probing gesture, almost like a strange wave. No attack, no roar, just seconds of tense eye contact before the bear retreats. As always, debates arise over authenticity. But one truth remains: danger in the forest is real. Hundreds of attacks are documented. Perhaps what draws us to these videos isn't deception, but the invisible fear forests hold in our minds. And some fears, the more we fear them, the more they fuel curiosity. Leaving the forest behind, the ocean holds dangers just as terrifying. A dash cam on a fishing boat in the North Atlantic captures a fisherman struggling with a large catch. Suddenly, from the waves, a massive fish, 3 times larger than expected, erupts from the water. Its jaws open wide, teeth exposed, snapping at the fisherman as if trying to remove him to save its own kind. The fisherman is knocked down, but falls onto the deck instead of into the fish's mouth, escaping death by inches. Moments later, the creature disappears beneath the waves. The fisherman remains seated for a long time, clearly in shock. A moment likely to haunt him for life. Now we encounter a creature no one can easily name. Did it fall from a UFO? The footage opens at a rural drainage ditch in Asia. A flashlight sweeps across the mud when something moves. The creature is small, child-sized, with thin limbs. Its head is hybrid, dog-like snout, pig-like features. Its body is dark brown, soaked in mud, moving fast and erratically. Throughout history, many monsters have turned out to be familiar animals afflicted by disease, parasites, or environmental damage. But without explanation, human imagination fills the gap with fear. A security camera in a quiet neighborhood records a creature chilling enough that no one can identify it. Under streetlights, it appears thin and oddly proportioned. Its lower body resembles a kangaroo's legs, while its wings spread like a bat's. The head has a long snout, glowing eyes scanning constantly. It moves slowly but deliberately, alert, calculating. No clear sounds, no familiar behavior. In the modern world, disease, mutation, or escaped lab animals aren't impossible explanations. But when something like this appears outside your door, the question isn't what it is, but how much still exists beyond our understanding. And perhaps some answers we're not ready to face. Some things shock not through violence, but sheer size. This footage comes from Ecuador after heavy rain. A local spots a creature crawling across wet ground, initially mistaking it for a snake. As the camera approaches, the truth is more unsettling. A massive earthworm, many times larger than normal, thick-bodied, glossy, moving with heavy weight. Giant earthworms aren't myths. Science has documented species that grow large under special conditions: nutrient-rich soil, high moisture, minimal human interference. But encountering one in real life is still enough to unsettle. Not everything strange is mutation or failed experimentation. Sometimes, it's nature operating in ways humans rarely witness, and it's our lack of understanding that amplifies fear. Moving on to the next piece of footage, what appears before your eyes no longer resembles an ordinary animal. According to circulating descriptions, this image was allegedly recorded inside a facility known as the Dragon Species Conservation Center in Japan, a place rumored to be housing and researching creatures classified as ancient dragons. The facility is said to possess dragon eggs with incubation periods lasting up to 2 years, along with multiple specimens of different origins, ranging from Asia to Europe. Most notably, there are claims of a creature believed to be over 1,000 years old, which is reportedly still being kept under observation. The creature is seen coiled tightly. Its body is serpent-like, but far larger than an adult python, covered in thick, tightly layered scales resembling armor, reflecting a metallic blue-gray sheen under artificial lighting. The head is what truly sends chills down the spine. Its face is not entirely reptilian, but instead bears structural similarities to Eastern mythical creatures: a short snout, a wide jaw, and small yet densely packed teeth. From the top of its head extend multiple horn-like or rigid tendrils curving backward, resembling whiskers or bony spines, giving it an ancient and unnatural appearance. Its eyes are narrow and deeply set, calm in expression, yet unmistakably unsettling. CCTV footage shows the creature lying motionless. No roaring, no aggression. But it is precisely this stillness that makes viewers uneasy. Some believe the footage is nothing more than visual effects, a biological model, or a mutated reptile exaggerated for shock value. Others argue that if it were fake, why would it be kept in such a strictly controlled environment, equipped with specialized containment systems, and showing no signs of being intended for public display? If humanity truly is in possession of ancient creatures like this, then how many other things are being hidden behind doors we are never meant to enter? And if those so-called legends are not entirely fabricated, then perhaps the boundary between myth and reality is far thinner than we ever imagined. Behind every frame is a question without an answer. A blurred line between coincidence, instinct, and something far more unsettling. If you felt that sense of unease, leave your thoughts below, share this video, and subscribe to the channel, so we can continue uncovering the footage we were never meant to see.